one, my culture. I remember my mom saying, "Oh, depression, that's not the real thing, that's just your attitude. And I think like, okay, then I'm gonna make my attitude better. And I try, but it's like when it didn't work, it was hard because I'd have her voice in my head saying it's not a real thing. It's just, you can just, turn it around and it's just your attitude. And when that didn't help me, that made me feel worse because I couldn't go to her and talk to her. And even friends, like, we didn't talk about that.
I think that I was really stressing my mom out at that time. Okay. She is a nurse practitioner, and I think that her mind just wants to solve and like care for whatever's ailing me as her daughter.
I'm a nurse practitioner, and my family is all in medicine. My dad's a retired surgeon. My mom's a retired registered nurse. My brother's a cardiologist. My sister's an OBGYN. I guess my son's a dentist. So it's in our family. Yeah. It was affected because I did actually get it, like I said, soon after my oldest daughter had it. I went to some dark places while I was in bed for almost 4 weeks, having trouble breathing and just like that anxiety of, again, breath is so important to life, obviously, and when you can't breathe, it just kind of, increases that anxiety. So I think my mental health was really, again, in a dark place. I did think of dying at times, like, what if I died? And weirdly, I was kind of at peace with it. Like, okay, well, I know that my family is, they're good kids. My husband can take care of himself, and it'll be sad, but, I really didn't feel sorry for myself in the moment.
I would just like be able to tune into the fact that like I was in my body rather than like in the feeling of anxiety, and rather than like follow that path of anxiety that just like was bubbling inside of me. I would just try to like notice that my body wanted to cough, but really encourage my body to just slow down and like relax.
Yeah, I remember not knowing what to do, so I just made a bunch of soup. And I set up a table right outside her door, and I would place plates of food there for her. And she couldn't even eat. It was like she could only eat a few bites. It was weird seeing my sister so sedentary, because she's always been very active in her life. She's always worked herself to the bone, was how I viewed my sister growing up. It was like seeing a totally different person in a way. And then with my mom, I think she struggled a lot knowing the difference between the nurse side of her and the mother side of her. Because I think she had been so used to merging the two together, which is great, but recognizing moments where she needs to step in and only nurture as a mother and not bring the medical side of her mind into the situation. Because I think she realized how overbearing that can be and how it ends up being ineffective or harmful.
Megan, my oldest daughter, she wasn't doing well. She was coughing, having trouble breathing, and
like the worst of it.
yeah, and I went there, and it's just like, you have to go to the ER, you know? And she was like, Mom, what are they gonna do? And I'm like, well, something, because I can't do anything if anything happens.
So she really, really, really wanted me to go to the hospital, to the like emergency department at a point. And I think that although it felt terrible to like experience what I was experiencing and like how that virus was moving through my body, in my mind I wasn't really like in the age demographic that needed like the care from a hospital, and I just kind of trusted that my body was handling what it was handling.
Long story short, we went, and it was kind of a no-go because they wouldn't let me in, and she's like, Mom, I'm not going to sit there for 3-4 hours by myself. So we ended up leaving. How you look is very important. What your profession is very important. How you appear to the world is very important. So why would you want to share something shameful as far as mental health? And mental health to me is looked as shameful because it's a weakness. Like, you don't want to show any weakness because you're an educated person. Of course, you know, you don't have any, you know, negative things going on in your life. It's hard to see if my kids are feeling any anxiety or depression because, again, I want to fix it as a mother. But realizing that if I'm just there to be open to hearing them and seeing them, then I think that that's all I need to do. Because I think that that's all I needed. Sure, like talking about it is very helpful, but I think just acknowledging that it's not a bad thing or it's not an unusual thing or it doesn't make you weird or something to be embarrassed about is helpful too.